Hi there, my name is Terry Smith. I'm the owner of Adorable Deco Decor, where we make and sell wreaths and other types of home decor, and also work toward inspiring others to make their own designs through my wreath making group. And today I'm going to be making a bow with 2 ribbons in a different way than what I usually do on lives. And okay, all right, so 2 ribbon bow, and this is really very simple. I'm going to try to slow it down. I'm going to zoom it in, and we'll go ahead and we'll make the bow, and then I'll tell you a couple of different ways that, or a couple of different options that you can use with it. But excuse me, the first rule I have on making a good bow is using good ribbon. You got to have a good stout wire. You got to. I usually advise, especially if you're new to making bows, or if you're not comfortable with making bows just yet, I try to steer away from satin ribbons. Now, in the same note, don't go out and get a 4-inch real rigid ribbon either, because those are also a little bit tricky to deal with. But just a nice canvas 1.5-inch ribbon is a good starting place. Okay, so. All right, so I have this beautiful floral ribbon here. Again, it's a 1.5-inch canvas, and then I also have this, it's kind of a check or an embroidered 1.5-inch pink ribbon. And what I'm going to do, first off, you want to get a lot of ribbon out, because you don't want to be, we'll even let that drop on the floor. You don't want to be struggling with your ribbons, okay? Get you out plenty of ribbon, and it always takes more than what you think. And for this particular bow and the wreath that I'm going to make with it, I'm wanting to have some long tails. So if you're just practicing, you don't have to have the long tails, but I'm going to start out with long tails. Okay, now I'm going to zoom in. Okay. Oh, thank you. Thank you, Ruth. I'm going to put one just right on top of the other. Okay. And it really doesn't matter which one's on top. I'm just going to put the floral one on top. Okay, and like I said, I want kind of a long tail. And I'm going to pinch it in one hand. Okay, hey Linda. I'm going to pinch it in one hand, and then the other hand, I'm going to bring this back, and we're just going to join it like that. We're going to make a loop. Okay, I'm just pinching it between my fingers. Okay, all right, now we're going to kind of pinch it together. Okay, so I'm just pinching it right here. Okay, all right, now I'm going to twist it. Do 180 degrees. It's really important to do 180 degrees. Okay, so when you see the ribbon on this side, it should have the correct side of the ribbon facing you on both of these loops. Okay, and same thing if this is a double-sided ribbon, so it doesn't really matter. But if it weren't, if it was one-sided, you'd also want the correct side on this one. Okay. All right. So all I did, I pinched it. I made a loop like that, and I twisted it. Okay. Oh, thank you, Sharon. Thank you so much for sprinkling. All right. Now I'm going to take a hold of this. I'm just going to run my hand down here, and I'm going to bring it back up to the center. Okay. All right. So you got your tail over here, and you've got your 2 loops. And at this point, I always check it to make sure my loops are equal. You can do it just like that. Okay. All right. So we've got our tail, then we've got our ribbon that's in the roll. Okay. And you want to make sure that you're keeping both of these ribbons together. Okay. All right, now we go to the center. We're going to twist it. Okay, let's get this out of the way here. We're going to twist it again so that the correct side of the ribbon is showing. Okay. All right, and we're just going to keep repeating that process. All right, I'm just going to bring it real slowly, and I'm going to bring it right back here, right to the center. Okay, and notice where I've got my ribbon. I don't have it out here on the tips of my fingers. I've got it more toward the meaty part of my hand. And you know, I hear a lot of people say, well, I can't make a ribbon, or can't make a bow because my hand starts cramping. And usually if that's what happens, it's because you got your ribbon back here and you're holding on to it too tight. Okay? So I've got it mostly back here, and as I'm making the loops, I'm just sliding them back, okay? All right, so we have 3 loops, okay? 1, 2 on this side, 1 on this side. All right, now we need to get the correct side of the ribbon again, okay? Because if I just brought this up like this, it's not going to be right, okay? So I'm going to take it and I'm going to twist it again, okay? So again, I'm looking at the floral side, the correct side of the floral ribbon, and I'm going to bring it right back in here to the center, okay? And again, every time I bring a loop, I'm checking to make sure that my ribbon loops are the same, okay? And you can also do it this way, but if you did it the first time and you're okay, then in theory all the rest of these should be equal, right? Okay. All right. Now this particular bow, I just want to make 2 loops on either side of the bow. And so that will give me a total of 4 loops on both sides. So an 8 looped bow, okay? All right, so I'm going to finish this up. I'm going to twist it again. All right. And so here's my tails. I've got one set of tails going out this way. I've got the other set of tails going out this side, okay? All right, easy peasy, right? Okay, so this is what it should look like at this point, okay? Should look like a bow tie. And you'll hear, some people will tell you to, you know, make one bow tie and then make an X. I just bunch it all together. You can do it either way. I mean, there's no right or wrong way to make a bow. If you find something that you like and it works for you, go for it, okay? Because there's all kinds of ways to make bows. This is the way I do it. All right, now I think I knocked my pipe cleaners off on the floor. Let me grab one of those. All right, now, so we've got our ribbon again. See where I've got it? Okay, got it way back here in the palm of my hand. All right, I'm going to take my pipe cleaner, and yes, I'm using brown because I'm going to be using this on a grapevine wreath. And by the time I get done making the wreath and fluffing the bow and such, you're not going to see the middle of this bow, okay? But it makes cleanup of the wreath better or easier in the end, okay? So I'm going to take this, I'm going to run it right down here, right underneath of my thumb, and I'm going to bring it out right between my pointer and my middle finger. Okay? See that? It's right here. Okay? All right, so then I'm going to bring this one down here, pick up on that other piece, and then I'm going to draw it tight. Okay? Just make sure you draw it real good and tight. Don't twist it a whole bunch of times or your pipe cleaner can break. Then you got to start all over. But you want the center of your bow to be tight. Okay, and that helps pop up that ribbon out of the center. Okay? All right. Now, all we're going to do, we're come out here. We're just going to take these bow loops. Let's get our tails out of the way. All right, we're just going to take all these loops and we're going to alternate them. Now, if it was all the same color ribbon, we wouldn't have to worry about that. But I always like to alternate my you know, to evenly distribute the colors. Isn't that pretty? I love those colors together. I've got some roses that I bought that I'm thinking is going to be perfect in this wreath. Okay. All right, now how easy was that? All right, and so this is what I would use to then attach to my wreath, to my lantern, to, you know, some people put them under a light fixture outside or on a banister, okay? All right, isn't that easy? Now, if you wanted to, say you wanted some more tails, like some short tails here, or say you got this onto your wreath and you decided it was too big, you can always cut it down. All you would have to do would be, depending on what you wanted as the end result, all you would have to do would be to take your scissors. I'm not going to do it because I'm going to use this bow. But all you'd have to do would be to take your scissors and just clip one of these to however long you want, and then get rid of the little stump, or you could turn it and make it into a tail, and then dovetail it, and you've got a tail. You know, a lot of times when I'm making a wreath, I'll talk about how I like to have tails coming out of the top, and I would just trim it right here on the back, and then just dovetail it to however long I wanted it. So, okay. All right, did I have any questions? Let me look and see here. I hope that was easy to follow. I know when I'm doing a live, a lot of times I'm going fast. I tell you, the main thing, like I said, there's a couple of main things. Phyllis is wanting to order better ribbon and wants to know where is a good place. Phyllis, I will send you I'll post a link to my blog. I've got a blog post where I list, I think I've got like 5 or 6 places that I order online that does not require a tax ID. I know there's Deco Exchange, Craft Outlet, Greenery Market, Trendy Tree, the Wreath Shop. I'm probably leaving places out, but and you can find a lot of good ribbon on Etsy, seriously. But those are probably the online places I order from the most. But I'll be sure to place that link here in the comments on that blog post. Okay? So, all right, well, I need to make another one of these bows too, so let's do that. All right, well, let's do one more. Like I said, I've got to make 2 of these anyway. I got a request for another magnolia wreath. But you know what? I don't have the same magnolias, so I had to go to Hobby Lobby yesterday since they've got their florals on sale, and I was able to find some nice ones. Let me get this ribbon off the floor so I don't trample all over it. Okay. All right. So here's what we're going to start over again here, guys. Let me zoom in. Okay, so we've got our tail. Okay, got our tail here. And I've got my, it doesn't matter if you put your patterned ribbon on top or whether you put your, it doesn't matter. I typically put my patterned ribbon on top so I can kind of watch. My one-sided ribbon, that is. All right, and we got them right on top of each other. Okay. All right, here's my tail. All right, so I'm just going to take it in both my hands. Liz is wanting to know what size ribbon. This is 1.5 inch, Liz. All right, so I'm just going to take it. I'm going to pinch it. Okay. Got it pinched. Just made a 1 loop. All right. All right, we go to the center. Oh, this is a little bit small. Let me scoot it out just a little bit. All right, so we got it pinched. So just think about every time you go to the center, you're going to twist, okay? And it needs to be a good 180-degree twist. Oh, thank you, Phyllis. All right, so we're going to twist it 180, okay? I'm going to bring it back to the center. I'm going to check it. All right, check it. Make sure your loops are equal. All right. All right, and I'm pinching it, and again, see it's starting to migrate back to the palm of my hand. I'm not holding a death grip on it. I don't have to hold this very tight. The only time I really hold it tight is when I'm twisting it. Okay. All right, now we're going to twist it. 180. All right, we got both our ribbons here. I'll bring it right back here to the center. Make sure my loops are the same. Okay. I'm going to pinch it. Okay. All right, now I'm going to twist it again. So I'm in the center. And bring it back to the center. Okay. Check my loops. And I'm going to twist it. Okay. Now this one I'm going to go ahead. I'm going to make another loop on each side. Okay, so that'll be what? We had 8, so that'll be 10 on each side, right? Or not? I mean 5 on each side, right? Yes. No, 6 on each side. Can't do math. All right, so 12 loops in this bow. And my intention is, like I said, I like to put some links or some tails up above the bow. And on this particular wreath, I want to be sure to do that, okay? All right, see where my bow's at? Way back here in the back of my hand, okay? All right, now we're going to twist it. And bring it back to the center. Make sure that my loop's equal. All right. Now I'm going to twist it. I'm going to make my tail. Cut it off. Okay. So there's my tails. Okay, and I've got my 3 loops on either side, which is actually going to be 6 loops of ribbon, right? But as I said, once I get this in the wreath, I'm not going to have 6 loops on either side. I'm going to be, well, I better, wait a minute, I'm just going to show you that again. I'm going to be using some of them for tails. Okay, I'm going to put this right next to the meat of my hand, or the meat of my palm, slide it underneath the ribbon, and have it come out between my pointer finger and my middle finger. Okay? All right, bring that down around the top. And we're going to pinch it. Pinch it tight. Okay? See how just pinching that real tight makes those bow loops kind of pop? Okay? All right. Now we're just gonna fluff it. Bring each one of these, and you can kind of manhandle it at this point. Don't be afraid to give it tugs on it. As long as your pipe cleaner's good and snug, you don't have to worry about it. Okay. And when you're first starting out and practicing, don't worry if your loops are a little bit uneven. That's okay. That's why we use good quality wired ribbon, and you can always make these bow loops go and do what you want. Okay. But like I said, I'm gonna trim probably at least a couple of these to go up over the wreath in the once I get it placed in the wreath. Okay? All right. Any questions? Oh, Maureen's wanting to know what you do if it's a pattern. I'm assuming you're talking about a one-sided or a vertical pattern. And that's a different one. I don't have any of that ribbon real close, but I'll do a video on that too. I do have, not making a double bow or double ribbon bow like this, but I do have a video on YouTube about using vertical ribbon or one-sided ribbon. It was a Christmas one with a truck. So, okay. All right, any other questions I can answer for you? This has been kind of fun, doing something a little bit different. But I make bows. I tell you, I make bows anyway. I use the easy bow, I use the pro bow. Most of mine are done by hand. That's the way I learned, that's my preference. Any of them, whatever works for you, that's the one you should use, okay? All right, well, like I said too, my group is open this month. I'll be closing it later on. I don't know exactly when, but it will be closing. If you're interested in learning in-depth wreath making, it'll be open here for a little bit. I did put a link if you're interested in looking up the details and such in the comments. I will also put that link to that blog post for the online shops that I use the most. And all right, you guys, well, thank you so much for hanging out with me this afternoon. You guys have a great rest of your day, and we'll catch you next time. Thanks so much. Bye-bye.